Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Thank you for joining another episode of Mondays at Microsoft. This is where we break down what's happening in the Microsoft ecosystem with a special focus on AI, modern work, power platforms, and Dynamics 365 for the next 2 weeks. All sorts of product announcements and events. My name is Karuana Gatimu. I run the Microsoft 365 Customer Advocacy Group, and I am happy to be here joined by my good friend.
Hello, I'm Heather Cook. I am on the M365 Customer Advocacy Group with Karuana. Good morning. Yay. Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Well, we're just proceeding right through the summer, aren't we? Like I said before, I don't think that the product management people at Microsoft know that we're supposed to be getting some rest this month because so many things are happening. It doesn't feel like the normal time here at all. A quick note, if you would like to see this show with live captioning, please visit us on our Microsoft community page on LinkedIn, and that's where live captioning is happening. But whether you're on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever you may be, we're just happy you're here, and we're going to hop on in. I think we have a topic that is going to be very, very important for many of you. The Copilot for Microsoft 365 Risk Assessment QuickStart Guide has now been released. And this has really pulled together insights from various sources, SharePoint and OneDrive, Outlook and Teams, third-party connectors and extensions, right? And it's using that natural language and processing and machine learning to help understand those queries. But this AI and mitigation framework is important, right? One of the most important things you can do as you get ready is assess the health of your tenant, make sure that you take a look at the optimization and readiness wizard, and now you can pair it with this, right? So 3 things. There's an AI risks and mitigation framework that is new that we have structured for you. And it outlines the primary categories of AI risks and how we address them, right? For both at a company and at a service level. And then there's a sample risk assessment. And so it presents a set of real customer derived questions and answers to assess the service risks and its posture. And then there's more additional resources, but we want you to go and check this out right now. We've put it together based on our experience with hundreds and hundreds of customers going through this process of AI readiness. So we're very excited to announce that.
That is awesome.
Yes, and there's going to be more awesomeness coming. I'm excited, Heather. I know you're going to make this next announcement, but I'm excited about it. So tell everyone
Well,
about it. I can't hardly stand it.
I will tell everyone about it, but I have to say that, you are always in the mix on all the great technical content across the company. And so, y'all, Karuana drives so much of those amazing conversations she has for years. And it's really exciting to have our team and modern work on the engineering side involved in the Microsoft AI Tour, which is coming up. So there was one last year, the AI Tour. It's a big global event. It starts September 24th. 60 cities around the world, from Mexico City to Johannesburg to Mumbai to Sydney to Seoul to Berlin, and many more. They are free. It's a one-day event, in-person experience, AI thought leadership, sessions to help build your AI skills, hands-on workshops, connection opportunities to inspire attendees, and practical approaches on using AI. So really excited about that. And something else that we're in the middle of working on to push out also is talking to our local community members through the Global Community Initiative, our regional leaders, our MVPs, all those folks. So coming soon, y'all, some asks about how you can get involved there. We'll have some forms to fill out and all of that goodness. So that's all in the mix. But, Karuana I've been in the meetings. We're working on the content. The Jeremy Chapman, again, on the team, given a lot of the sessions, Karuana and myself. Karuana, where are you going? You're going to Mexico City, the first one, right?
Mexico City, yeah. I'm going to go do the kickoff and make sure all the technical content that we designed especially for this. So one of the things I want folks to know is this isn't the same as just what you pull down off of our Copilot Hub or you see on Microsoft Learn. It's going to be evolving as it marches around the globe as well, adding new capabilities. Like with the new risk assessment, we have to add that into the technical readiness and the workshop now. So we're constantly reinventing the the content so that you're getting a fresh and detailed experience of how to be AI ready. And we're going to serve IT professionals as well as developers and business leaders in this AI tour. So whoever you are, there's a place for you there. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really grateful that Heather's leading up the community aspect so that you can stay connected after the tour leaves your city. I'm hoping they're going to make tour t-shirts, but if they don't, I'm going to because I really love this year. I didn't get to go last time. So I'll be in Mexico City. I'll be in London. I'll be in a couple other places, but everyone who's going has been specially trained to deliver this content. And so, we're just really excited to come and help you be AI ready.
Yep. And I'm going to Paris and New York City. So I'll be with you as well. So we've got great colleagues who are coming in for this all over the place. And it's just really exciting. So we'll see you in a city near you soon. And then probably in the next week or so, we'll have a forum going out to our community members to see how you can get involved with the event. So that's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. But I was at an event just this last week, which is put on by one of our amazing community producers. TechCon 365 DC happened in Washington, DC at the convention center there. I got the privilege of meeting a ton of people and giving a session, and of course the keynote. And, I love these shows because just like the AI tour venues, these shows are a little bit smaller than our massive flagships like Ignite and Build. And you really get an opportunity to connect with people and hear what they're going through. And of course, because this one is in Washington, D.C., many of our public sector folks are there. And my team is dedicated to supporting public sector whenever we can. There's a public sector forum out on the tech community, by the way, in case you didn't know. Bring your questions there. So we got to go over the current GCC and GCC High roadmap. We talked about what it really means to be AI ready and to really focus on the readiness part, because many folks in public sector, they're not ready for AI yet. But the best practices of healthy Microsoft 365 usage with all the various and sundry things that are happening is really important. And so it was a great conversation. Big shout out to the team there. And Dallas is coming, and my good friend Mark Cashman is going to be there. So you can, if you miss DC or Seattle, you can certainly see that now as we get ready for Dallas in the next show. But the TechCon team is wonderful, and I really appreciate all their enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now I think we're moving on and talking about multi-factor authentication for Azure, a new sign-in experience. So some of you may have seen this, especially if you happen to get your Microsoft 365 services through a cloud solution provider. The sign-in experience continues to evolve. For those who are doing change management out there, this is a little bit frustrating because it keeps changing the way that people are logging in. But it's for a good reason that this is happening. And, cyber attacks are more frequent and they're more sophisticated and they can be more damaging. So safeguarding your core identity is absolutely critical. So one of the pillars of the Secure Future initiative from Microsoft is dedicated to making sure that identities and secrets are definitely protected. So in October, MFA will be a requirement to sign in to the Azure portal, Microsoft Entra Admin Center, and the Intune Admin Center. So you have to have MFA on. And folks, really, you need to have multi-factor authentication on anyway. This is very important. However you implement it, whether you're using, Face because people have their Apple devices, maybe you're using the passcode setup, maybe you're having a code sent to you, whatever it may be, have that turned on. And then beginning in early 2025, we will gradually enforce MFA as sign-in for Azure CLI, Azure PowerShell, Azure mobile app, and infrastructure like code, IAC tools, and that will commence and continue to roll forward. So if you haven't been used to multi-factor authentication, you should definitely get used to it. It's sometimes something to have your users work through, but we'll make sure that advance notice has already gone out. It's a 60-day notification of the interchanges, and it's gone to those global admins. So you should have some resources. You should have a Learn More link, and we'll continue to review extended timelines for some of the customers that may ask for it. But let's get ready. Yes, mandatory. That's right. That's right. Mandatory MFA.
Yes, for sure. And I think, do we have a promo to roll now?
We do. Keynotes and sessions from the 2024 Microsoft 365 Community Conference are on demand on the Microsoft Community Learning channel. Let's see a little bit about what they are about. Roll that awesome video.
Keynotes and sessions from the 2024 Microsoft 365 Community Conference are on demand now. You do not want to miss this year's keynotes about the future of work with Microsoft Teams, reshaping productivity with Copilot for Microsoft 365, and delivering business value and user satisfaction in the era of AI. There are over 60 on-demand sessions from Microsoft experts, MVPs, and industry leaders, all curated for you to discover the latest innovations in AI and start building your skills on Microsoft's most important products today. Start watching keynotes and sessions on demand now on the Microsoft Community Learning channel.
Very cool.
And this content is so cool, but this content's really relevant, right? Because we had people teaching how to get started, how to go further, what to do more, administration tasks. And this is why we've extended our Community Skills Challenge through September. So if you haven't gone and taken that Community Skills Challenge to marry this important content about what's happening now with the foundational Microsoft 365 knowledge and Power Skills session, now's your time to do it. That's what I think summer is for, is studying up on things so that you can be ready to hit the fall strong, because everybody comes back from vacation at work and they want to be effective as you race towards the end of the calendar year. So use this time and take that Community Skills Challenge.
I love it. I love Power Apps in the comments. That's fun.
I know, that's cute. Love
Great.
that.
Yeah. Got a couple other in case you missed it. One is from Pooja Gulati. We introduced new OneDrive quick links and playlist cards for Viva Connections. So Viva Connections, that one-stop shop where employees can get all the employee information that you need. And so we are continuing Microsoft to, improve that Viva Connections experience. And so within the Viva Connections dashboard, there is now new cards, and it's demonstrated by Pooja and Vesa, who you all know, on our team as well, who runs our developer community. That can be found on our community learning YouTube channel, and there's an embedded blog post at the links there. So these cards are gradually rolling out this summer and autumn of 2024. Each card's going to be enabled one by one for customers, so you can expect them to be fully available by the end of autumn, as it were. So you can check that out too, which is going to be super cool. And I think you also have some other Viva Connections. Today is like Viva Connections.
It is Viva Connections Day. And if you're not familiar with Viva Connections, it's like your home for news and information. It's like your employee experience home. You can pin it on the left side of Microsoft Teams and really curate the experience with actions that employees might want based on their groups and their memberships. So it's very much a tailored employee experience home. And there is going to be some web part changes for those of you using the Viva Connections web part. And, there's a fantastic article on this. This gentleman, he does the most awesome work. If you're not following his web, his blog, you 100% should be. He puts so much time and effort into his blog, and he details all of the web part changes that are coming to that Viva Connections web part. Because of course you can put that on your home intranet or on a variety of templates or what have you in your SharePoint experience. So check this blog out. And if you are working in Microsoft Viva, I want to let you know that we have our public community call every month now. So excited to bring all of our awesome production skills. Thank you to everyone on this team and the Viva team to this community. So every month we talk about Microsoft Viva as a whole. We deep dive on a particular topic. And this month we'll be joined by folks from the people science team to provide guidance about becoming a high performance organization. The call's about an hour and there's Q&A. You can come on and ask your questions. It's also available on demand later. So join us for that Viva community call every month with my friends over there. This will be on Wednesday, August 21st at 9 a.m. Pacific. So a couple more announcements because they're coming fast and furious. Microsoft Entra ID Admin Center and the admin portal are no longer going to support license management, right? Via the Microsoft 365 SharePoint and Teams group on LinkedIn, we're reminded that the Microsoft Entra ID Admin Center and admin portal won't support that. Starting September 1st, you'll need to use the Microsoft 365 Admin Center instead. So we call it the Mac. And so make sure that you understand that transition. There is obviously a link out there which we're showing so that you can learn more about that, but that might change your daily workflow. And speaking about changes to your daily workflow, I don't know about you, but I am a huge fan of Microsoft Loop, and we have produced a Meet the Makers and Learning series dedicated to Microsoft Loop. We just released it. Again, shout out to the team who put this together, really direct from the product engineering team. And I think that that brings a flavor to it, right? You're hearing from the people who are making the product. So let me give you a quick view of what that's about with this quick video. I am so excited to have the people behind the scenes of Microsoft Loop.
I love the Loop app from the aspect that you can start messy and you can just freeform it, or you can make it structured. I can work alone. Loop also does a really good job in bringing people together.
That aha moment is the spark that then encourages someone to say, hey, maybe I could work differently. Maybe I could be more effective. Maybe I could be more efficient.
Yes.
Maybe I could be more creative.
What I'm really a fan of is people being able to get work done. Oh, I understand what this can do for me.
Oh, yeah.
That to me is a magic moment.
And one of the things that we know is that meetings are inefficient.
Stay aligned and focus on what has been accomplished and what's left to do.
Let's see how Copilot can help you and your teammates stay on track and up to date.
We love Loop and this learning series. Part 1 is available now. There are new sessions dropping every Wednesday through the 5-part series, and it ends with an Ask Microsoft Anything. So if you still have questions about Microsoft Loop, you can come and ask the team directly what your questions are in the Microsoft Tech community. So we're excited to bring that to you. My favorite part of Loop is it brings together my folks who communicate in Teams with my folks who communicate in Outlook on one list or set of information. It's really powerful. If you haven't checked it out, now's the time.
That's awesome. I love Loop too. So it's been fun. We've been using it as a team for a while now, but it's really fun to share out with some other folks and bring them into the Loop. Ha ha. There you go.
Yeah. You had to say it. I avoided it, but you said it. Oh my goodness.
Well, I'll flip into some business applications, dynamics, and fabric. I found an article by one of our Microsoft Business Apps MVPs, who is also an alum of our Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program. Shadrach Anusha has a really great article out about building Power Apps, Canvas apps with multimedia integration in SharePoint and audio players. So that's a really cool, I was like, ooh, that's really interesting. So it's demonstrating how to build a Power App Canvas application within SharePoint that integrates a SharePoint list backend for storing and retrieving images and audio files. So you will have labels and icons, navigation, image containers, and all that sort of thing. And there's step-by-step instructions in this blog post. And it's just a one of those cool things that it's like, oh, that's a great idea, to manage something that you may use every day, like when you go hunting and pecking for, audio files or video and stuff. So I thought that was a really cool thing. So put that up there. A shout out to one of our community members for sure. So super neat. Also in the fabric world, there's this really cool podcast called Abstracts. And it's members of the research community at Microsoft, where they're continuously, trying to advance their fields. I love the research teams at Microsoft. They're all so thoughtful and interesting, and I've worked with them a lot on community, asking questions about like what's an engagement community look like, and what are people interested in, and all of those things. And we use those insights a lot of times to work on how we create community platforms or community programs, right? So this is a super cool podcast that brings the audience really, the cutting edge stuff too, with really small, short, compelling conversations and really cool achievements as well. So this particular one, Microsoft product manager Sharev Jain and OpenAI research scientist Zoe Hitzig are with Amber Tingle, who's the host, and they're talking about personhood credentials, artificial intelligence, and the value of privacy is real online. So that's what they're doing is really cool. And there's very short. And that leads us into, one more thing about Fabric. They have the European FabCon coming up. I didn't put this in the script, but that's coming up at the end of September in Stockholm. I'm really excited about that show. I'm going to be going. So I'll be there with our community, very hard on that show. So if you haven't registered for that show yet, European Fabric Conference is coming up the last week of September. Really excited about that. So leading into our event segment, if you will. So that's awesome. So, of course, we love it when we have our global community initiative board members and regional leaders together at events. I know Karuana and Tiffany Lee on our team and Josh Leparati had a meeting with our MGCI board and regional leaders at TechCon DC. So shout out to everybody that was there. And we're working to do those at every conference that we have, pulling together our MGCI members, not just the board and regional leaders, but anybody who is a part of this community can come hang out, of course, every time. So always be on the lookout for those at our events that we're at. And then also we're always trying to bring together our Microsoft MVPs, our user group leaders, our super users, kind of all in the same bucket, for saying hello and getting in person and having those great conversations. So if you want to learn more about the Microsoft Global Community Initiative, it's that aka.ms MGCI link that's down at the bottom there. And you can also check out who our advisors are, those board members and regional leaders who've been appointed and nominated and voted on and all that good stuff. And so, Karuana, you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say that in every single keynote that I do lately, I am talking so much about the career opportunity that this era of AI presents. And one way to activate that career opportunity is to lean into the community and maybe host an event or volunteer for one. Just learn from the other folks who have come before you. It's fun. It's how Heather and I ended up here. It's a wonderful opportunity for everyone. And that's why MGCI exists, is to give you that kind of infrastructure and a home where you can meet other people and think about how Microsoft can improve your career. So now's the time. Don't let any grass grow under your feet. Get busy with thinking about where do you want to be a year from now in your career.
100%. And, we take the month of August off of some of the community calls. And so we've done that with MGCI. So we're working a lot on sort of programs and, what we're going to do for general sessions and getting everybody lined up from now until December. So we can say, hey, this is who's going to be on the general sessions. The Loop team came and presented. We've had different regional leaders come and present. Nikia Carter was on talking about her events. So it's really cool. So we usually have a combination of, a community member sharing like lessons learned maybe from an event as an organizer. And then we have product teams coming on and talking about how you can use Microsoft products to actually run community as well, which is something our team is working on all the time. Like, how do we use Power Automate to automate this or that? How do we use forms in Microsoft lists? So all kinds of cool stuff that we've been sort of plunking around with this summer of like, how do we kind of upgrade our own ways and usage of Microsoft products to run this community business, right? So been pretty exciting. And I'm like, I love process. So it's been a little bit like
yes, Heather's the process person between us, as you can tell. Yes, she's like loving it. But that's why she's an awesome community leader too, because she's very organized. So I appreciate that about you, my friend. You're awesome.
Well, sometimes you got the creative, sometimes you got to, write a checklist, right? Which you're really good at too. So, but also communitydays.org. That is our one-stop shop for community events in the Microsoft ecosystem. Always great to shout out Tom Daly and all the folks who have been administrating and supporting that. Tom's an MVP out of New York, New Jersey, who also runs the Community Days New York City and the user group there. So, if you have an event that you're doing that's, a one day or free or one of the paid produced events, please list them. It is becoming a place where people are looking for events. And also it's a great place to look for if you're a sponsor or a partner and you would like to sponsor some events and get out there and make those connections with customers. That's a great place to pick up a sponsorship. And also if you're a speaker and you want to get in the speaking circuit, if you've never done it before, if you want to get back into it, you want to try something out, especially the community days events or collab days events and some of these one-day free events, that's a great place to put your hand up and say, hey, I would love to speak at something like this, right? They're super fun, and they're anywhere from like 300 to 800 people, depending on the size. Shout out to Community Days Los Angeles. That's coming up September 13th in my backyard. Very excited about that. And we've got a slew of past events that just happened. And then we have a ton of events. Thank you very much, Aaron, for the slide. So this is what just happened. As you can tell, we've got stuff happening all over the world. It's just amazing. So very exciting to see what happened in August. And then we also have a ton of events coming up in August and then getting into September a little bit as well. Really exciting stuff. The dynamic user groups, these are regional, larger meetings of user group leaders getting together in the different states, which is super cool. AMP is putting on a lot of wonderful events as well. And you can see collab days, not always just in Europe. There's some in the United States too, but there's a lot going on always in Europe with the collab days events as well. And shout out to those organizers who we work with all the time. That's another thing that we're doing as folks, those of you who are producing events and who produce, more than one, like the collab days have lots of events, AMP, AMS, and also like Experts Live and those sorts of things. So we're working directly with producers who do series of events in different cities on the back end to pull those into collab communitydays.org as well. So if you're looking for an opportunity to speak and do cool things, communitydays.org is the place to look for that for sure. So very fun.
And we have a great question from the audience I want to address. Deb asks if there's a place for a listing of local user groups yet. And I know that you've been working on that. That's one of the big rock projects that you've been thinking about.
For sure. Yeah. And we've been talking a lot with so as far as our team goes, the Microsoft tech community, which many of you have been on for years and years, it's been around a long time. I mean, Karuana, do you want to talk about the engineering back end of that a little bit? That's kind of fun.
There is a master event schedule out there that also includes local user groups. And we've been working for some time to create the synchronization between communitydays.org, the tech event calendar, and the Microsoft internal calendar tools. One of the biggest things that you can imagine is making sure that people inside Microsoft understand everything that's happening in the community as they schedule larger events and what have you. And so that's been going on for a while. We're getting very, very close to having that done and being able to sync all those things together. A lot is going on. My team recently took over the platform engineering for the Microsoft tech community as a whole. And so I'm really excited to bring some new features there. Josh Leparati on my team is leading that. And we're excited about what's going to happen with our various event listings, user group listings, and more. What I'll say from a practical perspective now is you can go to the Microsoft tech community. You can also check Meetup. And there's a lot of information that's out there that hasn't been synced yet. And that's one of the things that we're working on, kind of globally, is how do we sync all these places? Because we know people find things on Meetup, and that's fine. We just want you to be able to find them also on the tech community and have that be a cohesive, unified listing of all the user groups that exist. So as you can imagine, that's a bit of another big rock that we will try and deliver on for Ignite. But it's a process.
Yeah, and I think, Deb, to your question too, just to answer it, is there are a lot of listings. Is there one definitive yet? Not yet. So but Azure Tech Groups, that's on Meetup. Power Platform and Dynamics 365, that's on that community platform. And then Microsoft 365, we're gathering as well on tech community. What we'd like to see, and we're working on right now, is speccing out just one big map that pulls from everything where you could see potentially everything in search. So as you can imagine, that's a lot of data and a lot of pulling it together, but that's what we should be doing, right? So that's the project that we're thinking about for getting out for Ignite. So coming soon in November. So
yes, very exciting. And if it was easy, everyone would do it. Global program management, that's what we do. Community at scale.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Love this
Yeah.
job. And
For sure.
and sometimes hard engineering stuff that comes with it. But it is definitely worth it because I personally have always wanted that list. I want to see all the user groups. So oftentimes Heather and I solve problems that we had as community members, right?
Mhm.
And it's a privilege to get to do that on y'all's behalf. Keep those questions coming and we will keep trying to architect solutions for them for sure.
Yep. Awesome.
We are excited. Well, we're about to wrap up here. Remember, we are taking September 2nd off in celebration of Labor Day in the United States. It's an annual federal holiday here in the US, and it's celebrated quite intensely. We're going to take that little break this time. Join us 3 weeks from now on September 9th for our next show, and we are going to have a special guest and a new segment, the Security Spotlight. We're bringing our security friends into this Mondays at Microsoft stuff. Virginia Bryant will be joining us. I'm really excited to have her. You all are going to love her, and she's going to bring what's new and what's hot over in the security space to all of you alongside what we already talk about. So thank you to all of you. Thank you, Heather, coming to us live from another city, and we will see you again on September 9th. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everybody. Cheers.